This is a resident manager up in Northgate Apartments. I had a father come to my apartment here to check on his daughter. We just came in the apartment. I think she's dead.
Ooh.
And what makes you think that? Or
We came into the apartment. Her dad went over to her, and he goes, "Oh my God, she's cold and there's blood."
Oh.
On
Can't
June 4th,
imagine finding your
2007,
kid.
18-year-old college student Anita Knutson was found brutally stabbed to death in her apartment. The murder weapon, a bloody knife, was left behind in the sink. But
Okay, we're going to pause right there. This is my reaction video. Never seen this video before, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Just responding to videos. This is from Sergeant Pepper Spray. I'll put a link to their YouTube channel in the description, and let's go on from here.
the search for suspects went nowhere. 15 years passed without any arrest, and the case was officially declared cold. But in March of 2022, police made a surprise announcement that an arrest had been made. Anita's former roommate, Nicole Rice. Investigators said it wasn't a single new lead that reopened the case, but a careful re-examination of small details that finally allowed them to piece everything together. One possible motive that was re-examined were text messages that Nicole had sent to Anita 3 weeks prior to her murder.
Why wouldn't they have found this before? Or why wouldn't they have dug deeper originally instead of this going to a cold case?
Police went to Rice's workplace at Minot Air Force Base looking to formally charge her with felony murder in connection with Knutson's stabbing.
I don't know, she doesn't know I am, but if you just tell her that somebody's here to see her. Nicole?
Yeah.
Northwest Police Department. We have an arrest warrant for your arrest for murder.
Okay, can I call my lawyer?
Nope. Not right now. You certainly will have an opportunity to. But right now, we're placing you under arrest. Can I have you stand up? Stand up.
Where is it?
She doesn't seem too shocked or surprised.
Goes right there, yeah.
He's in here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need from here?
Anything else you need right now?
No.
Okay. All right.
Maybe it's shock.
Have you follow this officer?
I need to call my boss.
Or call anybody? You need me to call anybody? No?
She'll get some calls.
Okay. All right.
We're about out here to the right. It's kind of a tight fit, but
It seemed like a face. Somebody's like, I knew it was coming.
More than a decade earlier, Nicole gave inconsistent statements about the timeline surrounding the murder. One detective recalled that when Nicole first heard of Anita's death, she oddly showed no reaction at all. Now, 15 years later, as police question her again, the focus is simple. Does her story hold up?
All right. Okay, so I know, like I said, I wasn't here when all of this happened, so it's all kind of new to me. And we know it's been a really long time, so we're trying to just look at it again from the beginning. And it's me and Detective Talbot and Steve here.
How you doing?
And none of us were involved from the beginning, so it's all brand new to us. And so we're just kind of going back and trying to talk to everybody, absolutely everybody again that was talked to the first time, and just, right?
Yeah, I have a hard enough time remembering yesterday or last week to try to go back 15 years and remember details. That's not going to happen with me. So I'm sure it's like that with a lot of people to get her on inconsistencies, but we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, to go back that far and try to remember details. But this if I murdered somebody, I guess it would be etched in my brain.
So what was her work schedule like? She was only part-time at Vanity, right?
Yeah, and then she worked at the Fairfield Inn too. Okay. But I don't know, like she didn't work there like all the time, and then she didn't work Vanity all the time, depending on her class schedules. And I don't know what her schedule was at the time. So she would basically school, work, party, come home super late. Like, I remember coming home 3, 4 in the morning sometimes, going to bed, sleeping, getting up, going to school, coming back, changing, going wherever else she was going. So, like I said, like most of the time I was sleeping while trying to sleep. So we didn't talk much.
And so how did that make the living arrangements? Was there any problems between the two of you?
The only problem we really had, and I know there's so many stories. There's so many stories. Like her mom's like, oh, well, you guys, she said she was scared. She never was honestly scared. She would text me actually when we would go places. She's like, I need my wingman and stuff. Like, I don't know where her mom got the fact that we were like actually got physical, because that never happened. And I never slammed her foot in the door. So I don't know where all that's coming from. But we had a disagreement about an alarm clock one morning. That was, I was home. Obviously, I got home at like 1:30. And then I wind down to go to sleep. Well, her alarm clock was going on at 5 a.m. Our rooms were our own rooms. Either we locked them when we were gone or we didn't. That was our space. Like, I don't know. But, so the alarm clock was going off at 5 a.m. And I'm trying to sleep so I texted her and I was like, dude, I'm going to smash your door down because your alarm clock's going off. But, I mean, to me, I would say that to anybody. I'm tired. I'm trying to sleep. Why is your alarm clock going off? So it went off for like an hour and I was like, dude, next time you need to make sure you shut your alarm clock off because, like, that's respectful.
Right.
So that's, like, the biggest confrontation we had. And we had to really resolve that issue. We had talked about it. We weren't mad at each other. Like, typical roommate stuff. You with someone all the time, So.
Mm-hmm. So she would lock her bedroom when she wasn't there?
Yeah.
Would she lock it when she was there as well?
No.
Okay.
No, just when I would do the same thing. Like if I wasn't there or whatever, I would lock it. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. I don't know. Sometimes I forget. I don't care. But we had that agreement like that. My room's my room. Your room's your room. I don't go in your room. You don't go in mine. So I don't know. It was a personal space thing.
Did you guys spend much time in the common spaces like the living room, kitchen together? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. I always told her she would always. I don't know if it was like a California thing, but she'd be like walking around in her bra and underwear and the window's wide open and the lights are on. I'm like, what are you doing? And you know what? You guys, this is the worst thing. She said to me, well, it's not Callie. It's Minot. And you guys, it's like rings in my brain because I'm like, oh, God. It's not Callie, it's Minot. Like, really, what could happen to Minot? I'm like, oh.
Right.
Yeah. It just goes to my brain all the time.
Tell me about the incident with your fish tank.
Fish tank? Oh, one of my friends poured beer in it.
Oh.
And filled it with beer instead of water.
Okay.
I don't remember anything else about the fish tank.
That can't be good for fish.
No, it killed all the fish.
Because we had heard that Anita had unplugged your fish tank at one point and that killed your fish because she didn't like the noise. It made too much noise.
I don't know anything about that. Mm. No, I know all my fish died because my friend poured beer in the fish tank.
Good friend.
But I don't remember anything else.
So that didn't happen?
No.
Okay. So let's get down to that weekend as much as you can remember. So let's start Friday. Because you, I think, worked Friday?
I did work Friday, and then I went out back to my parents' farm.
Okay. You went to your parents' farm that Friday night? Or?
I think I went Saturday morning, actually, because my cousin was leaving for, like, basic training or Iraq or something. I can't even remember what it was, but we were having a party for him in Sexton. So I think I left that Saturday morning because I worked late Friday and then went to sleep and then woke up Saturday morning and left. Honestly, though, I can't 100% remember if I left Saturday morning or Friday night.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was
And do you remember if Anita was home Friday night when you were there?
I don't remember. I do not remember. I'm sure I did at the time, probably.
What about Saturday? If it was Saturday that you left, was she there in the morning when you left? Or did you see her vehicle parked in the parking lot? Or
I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Okay. And then did you go straight from here to Sykeston to the party, or did you go somewhere else? You went-
Yeah. I think I picked up my cousin. She rode with me. My cousin.
Where did she live?
Where was she living at the time? I think she was living somewhere in town. She's like
In
5
Maya?
years. Yeah,
Oh.
she's like 5 years older than me.
Okay.
So I believe I picked her up, and then we rode down there together, and then because then I came back and she owned a bar in Russo. Her husband did, and we came back and stayed there, and I helped her serve like food.
So after the party in Sykeston, you went to Russo, the bar.
Yeah, which is just like 5 miles south of my parents' farm.
Okay.
So
Not a lot to react to with this one,
That was,
but you
so
don't
when
know
was there?
I think we came back
until you
from
start
maybe like
watching
5
whether or not it's
or
something
6,
to
and then
react to.
I stayed at Russo for till probably 11 or 12
Okay.
serving. So I would help her when I was out there because it was something to do. I'm always like to be busy. So.
Yeah. And
One of the things I find out is they go to your job, they arrest you for murder, and you're sitting here just chit-chatting and laughing. I would be saying, what do you have on me? Why am I arrested for this? I mean, I would be asking more questions than they were asking.
and then so after, did you stay to like bar close, or
Pretty close.
and then what did you do then?
Went back to my parents' house and went to bed on the couch.
So was that normal for you to sleep on the couch?
Yeah.
At your parents' place?
Yeah, so my parents they have a small double wide trailer,
Oh, okay.
and my sister was still young at the time, so that's where I slept. My dad, as soon as I went to college, my dad turned my room into his office because that's what it was supposed to be when they ordered the house, and then my mom found out she was pregnant, so then he didn't have an office anymore. So
your sister got the bedroom and you get the couch.
yep, I always slept on the couch. Even after I got pregnant and I moved back in with my parents, I still slept on the couch.
Oh, okay.
So actually, I bought an air mattress and I slept on the floor in the air mattress. But yes, there's a small house.
Space is limited.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So you got back to the farm about what time?
I would say it was probably midnight, 11:30, midnight, somewhere out there.
Okay. And then you just slept on the couch. Do you remember what time you got up on Sunday?
Nope. I know I had to go. Was it Sunday? I had to do something with my car insurance, or was that Saturday morning? Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I know that weekend I was doing something with my car insurance with my dad. We had gone into Velva. I don't think it was Sunday though, because I don't think she was open. I don't remember what day it was. Oh, Sunday we shot gophers. We were out shooting gophers
On the farm?
Yeah. The whole pasture is plastered with them, so yep. That's what we did on Sunday. I don't remember what time I got up though. Usually, so when I sleep on the couch, my dad's up at 5 a.m. So I probably just laid there. I probably was awake, but he's up at 5 a.m. all the time, making breakfast, being noisy, watching TV.
He's a rancher, right? So that's what he does.
Yep. So.
Would you normally, like, thinking back to then, you were like, what, 19, 20 years old? Would it have been usual for you to sleep in to like 10, 11? Or were you kind of, since you're a farm girl, were you always I'm get up at 7 a.m. and help with chores girl? Or
Well, Dad didn't make us do that, but if we were sleeping in past 9, it's time to get up. There's no reason to sleep. The half the world's awake is what he always tells us. I've done this already this morning. Okay. So he didn't really let you sleep in. So he didn't care. But like when I was at the apartment and I worked, I would sleep till probably 12. So I get up and
just get up and go to work.
Go to work again. This is the same thing every single day. So yeah, at that time I did sleep in. But,
Yeah.
So.
Did you go home to the farm often?
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost every single weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed home. I don't like being in the city, and I don't even know why I moved here. Because I miss it so much. I miss being at the farm. But
So Sunday you got up at whatever time, and then you went shot Gophers. Did you spend the whole day at the farm, or did you?
yeah,
go
I
anywhere
stayed
else?
there again. I stayed that night again, and then I worked Monday, but I stayed there. Monday, I think, is when I had to do my car insurance, and then I went. Yeah, because we got up. I went with my dad to Velva. We did my car insurance, and then I went straight to work because by that time it was all done. I needed to be to work at 1, so I didn't even stop at home. I just went straight to work. So I was gonna be late. So,
Was that normal for you just to go straight to work from the farm, or I mean,
Yeah, I had
pretty
no
much
reason.
would go right by your apartment.
Yeah.
On the way to work.
yeah, I had no reason to stop though because I always made sure I packed. So it just was it'd be an extra stop for me, and I'm like very I don't know how to put it, but I hate extra trips. I think I learned that from my mom when I was younger, because when we'd come to Minot to go grocery shopping, it was one trip, get it done. We're not coming back up here. There's no extra stops there. It was like, so now it kind of trained me. I don't like to make extra stops. If I'm going somewhere, I'm going to get everything so I don't have to go back all week. So yeah, I always would usually go straight to work. There's no reason to stop at home. So
Okay. And you said sometimes your shift was at 1, right? You'd work in 1 in the afternoon.
it depended on if we were short staffed, which we were most of the time.
So do you remember if that's the shift you worked that day?
I think I worked the 1-to-1 that day.
Okay.
I think so. So I know my lunch break. Oh God, when was my lunch break? I think I have to take it early.
Didn't she mention a lawyer when she first got approached and they told her she was under arrest? Why is she talking to these people? That makes no sense to me for sure.
Lunch that day. I don't remember, but that's where I was at China Star when they called me and told me I needed to go to my apartment.
Oh, okay.
I was eating with a coworker.
I was just going to ask you when you take your lunch break, if you stayed at work and you had like a break room thing that you
We
ate
did.
at, or did you
Normally.
leave?
Normally that's where I'd go, but then sometimes we'd all be like, hey, you want to go here, you want to go here. So my coworker came, was like, let's go have Chinese. So we had time, we had an hour lunch,
Okay.
An
hour for lunch.
So we went and did buffet, and that's where I was. And then
It's funny how some
I
of the
told
details
Rich
she
she came
remembers
back
so
to my apartment with
vividly
me.
and others she has no clue
and she
about.
stayed with me, and then
And that,
yeah, I don't
do you remember her last name?
No, God, no. Don't remember her last name.
Okay.
I see her once in a blue moon, but we weren't super close. We were just work people acquaintances.
Doesn't remember her
something to
name, but
do.
she remembers the very
And
day
you were with
15
her
years ago
China
that she
Star when
had
you got the
lunch
phone
with her.
call.
Mhm.
And do you remember who it was that called you?
Well, my phone kept ringing, and I don't answer phone calls, so I don't know who they are. Because I'm 9 times out of 10, if you need me, you leave me a message, right? Because I get so much spam crap. But I didn't answer, and then my mom had called me, and she said that the cops are trying to get a hold of me, and that I need to go to my apartment. If I didn't go to my apartment, they were going to come and get me at work. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I was completely blindsided. I had no idea what was going on. So we pulled up, and there was cops everywhere and tape. The first thing that went through my head was oh my God, we've been robbed, right? Because it's Minot. You don't think anything of anything. And then when they told me what had happened, I think I just went into this trance. I felt like everything was just blurry, and I don't even remember if I cried. I think because I was just in so much shock. And then they talked to me about stuff, and I remember going and sitting in the car and them asking me if I knew anybody that was bad at her or jealous of her. And I have a really bad coping mechanism. I'm very sarcastic. And I just said, well, if you're looking for somebody that's jealous of her, you might as well just get a phone book because she's gorgeous. And then they said, well, we don't need the sarcasm, but I've always been that way, my whole life. So I knew that. I was like, okay, I can't do that. But I don't, as far as everything the rest of that day, I feel like it's just all blurred. I don't remember much at all.
Do you remember what they told you?
They just had told me, they said that Anita was dead, and that she had been murdered. But they didn't know what time yet, and they didn't know, all this other stuff. And I was just, like I said, I was just in shock because, like, I grew up here. This is my home, and never heard of stuff like this, And I just sat there outside in the grass. My parents came up and sat with me. And they didn't tell me a lot that day. But when I went to get some clothes out of the apartment, they wouldn't let my mom come in. So it was just me. And they were like showing me things. And they said, is anything out of place? Do you notice anything weird? And they walked me by the bathroom, and I just remember like the smell in there, and seeing the bathroom sink and her room, and I couldn't even get clothes. I was beyond myself. I think I came out with a snow boot and like a hoodie, and it's June. So I just, I don't know, everything just, they didn't tell me anything though. They just said, does anything look out of place to you? And I said, my room looked fine. But was weird because I know I shut my door, but maybe they opened the door. I don't know. But the door was open in my room, and I'm super picky about like my room being clean before I leave. So nothing looked out of place in my room, but I couldn't even look in her room anymore.
Do you remember what day that was that you went back in to get the clothes?
Oh my gosh. It was just like 2 or 3 days later.
Okay.
Because I didn't have any clothes anymore. I was just, Mom had washed the ones I already had in my bag. But, yeah, I think it was a couple days, 2 or 3 days before I could go back in there.
And you mentioned something about when you were walking in, you saw the bathroom sink. Was there something specific about the
They
bathroom
just
sink?
pointed out the bathroom sink, and they said, what do you think this is? And to me, it looked like blood because it was brown and it was in the water, or in the sink in the water or something. I don't know. I just remember seeing the bathroom sink and her bedroom. And those are the two things that just burn into my brain. And like when I talk about it, I want to gag because when I talk about it, I remember what it smelled like in there. It's really hard, sorry.
What kind of smell was it?
It just smelled like this is gonna sound so horrible, but like when we have a dead cow out in the pasture and you can smell it from a ways away, it just smelled dead. And it wasn't easy because I felt like I should have stayed home and I should have been there, and what if I would have been there, and all these things would go through my brain. Like, she always asked me to, be her bodyguard. And I just felt like I wasn't there for her when she actually needed me the most, and I was too busy doing my own thing. So I live with a lot of regret. Like I said, not talking to her much. So all of that was just piling through my brain. Then also kind of scared, like, this was my home. What would have I done? Anything? Could I have done anything? Would I have been in the same situation? I don't know. But it's scary. So I have a lot of trust issues with people.
You said you saw her room that time when you went in to get your clothes. Was there anything that stood out to you that you saw about her room?
That's just, they told me, they're like, can you just look in here? Does anything look out of place where it shouldn't be? And I just remember seeing the mattress, and I think I just, blanked out. I couldn't look at anything else. I know her computer and everything was in the same spot that it's normally in. None of the furniture in the house was moved at all. So, but they're like, does anything look stolen? I'm like, I don't even know what was in here. We weren't in each other's rooms. So I don't know if anything was taken out of here or moved, or I knew that her computer was in the one corner, her bed was over in this corner, and that was it.
So, but all the big things like the TVs and the appliances and stuff like that was all still there. So yeah. It was not like somebody came in and robbed it.
No.
Okay. Do you remember about that apartment? There's only one door in and one door out, right?
Yeah.
No back door or anything like that?
No. Just the window in her room was like a longer, taller window.
Okay.
And we always had our windows open. It was hot. We didn't have AC. And her bedroom butted up against the laundry room.
Mhm.
It's like that everybody used. So it was always hot
Mhm.
because the dryer vents were always going. So it was always hot there. But she always had her window open. I always had my window open, but I would close mine when they left usually.
Okay.
So, and mine was like a little. Some apartments are so weird. My window was like tiny,
It was like
a little one.
that way, right?
Yeah, and
I remember it's been a while since I've been to those apartments, but
two.
I don't think much has changed there. So,
They're kind of.
what about the door? So you go in the door, and there's a deadbolt on the door.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and is that the only way to lock the door?
I think you could lock it with the key in the doorknob and the deadbolt.
And the deadbolt, were they two separate keys or the same key?
They were the same key, which I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. but
Okay.
Yeah, I think they
I've
were
seen
the same
doors
key.
like that before too.
Yeah, I think they were the same key.
Okay. And then was there like a screen door or storm door or something on it as well? Or
No.
Just a storm,
Just
just
the door.
that door.
Just the door.
Did that door have a window or anything in it, or was it just solid door?
Just solid door.
So you went through, you didn't see anything that looked out of place or odd, other than that bathroom sink situation, whatever that was.
Yeah,
Some water or something?
it looked like water or brown stuff.
It was maybe blood.
I don't know.
And was it like the sink, like the plug was in the sink and there was water in the sink, or was there something else in the sink that had water?
I guess I didn't look super close. I just seen that there was stuff in the sink.
Okay. Got it.
Like, I had a hard time being in there, so I think, like, I don't know if I had, like, I felt like I had shutters
Mhm.
on my eyes, and it just, everything was so shocking, and I think I was still in, like, just, like, days, like 3, 4, 5 days, probably. And even, like, her funeral, I think I was just still shocked, and I'm not really a crier. I don't cry super often. And my dad will tell you that. I'm not really. But they were like, well, how come you didn't cry at her funeral? I don't know if any of them know what it feels like to be in complete shock when you lose someone like that, and the situation, how you lose someone. But like I said, I was still in shock. I came here right after the funeral and talked to the detectives here. And I think this is going to sound weird, but I've seen therapy for all this. I never cried in therapy. And now the last couple years, they're trying to teach me, like, coping mechanisms. And I think I'm finally being able to grieve. I feel like that was really stolen from me for a long time, because so many people point fingers, you know, and I'm not that kind of person. It's hard for me because I feel like I've had no room to defend myself, but I don't have any reason to. So I stay pretty quiet. The page for her, I feel like I'm not even allowed to say anything, which is hard for me.
But in all reality, you weren't that close to Anita.
I mean, we were for a little while, and then we just kind of drifted, so.
In fact, you were planning on moving out at some point at the end of the
Yeah,
year?
we thought about getting just, because with our different schedules and stuff, it was hard. Because she would come home sometimes and be really noisy. Or I would, be there sleeping, and it's not fair to her to have to be quiet because I'm sleeping.
I'm not sure of all the questioning here, and they don't get down to any real facts to make a determination, but yeah, this is almost to the point of being boring.
So we had talked about, moving and going our separate directions with apartments, so.
When you say that people pointing fingers, do you mean people were pointing fingers at you?
I felt that way. I had really felt that way. Maybe they just don't know the whole story, which is, you watch TV shows all the time, and people think they know.
People said you called Anita.
Oh my gosh, and people can say that I would never do that. I honestly had nothing against her. we fought over alarm clock. We fought like just roommates, roommate stuff. I would never say that about her. The only thing I did tell her one time is she sometimes would leave guys on and then they would get upset. And I said, I just want you to be very careful because I don't want you to upset the wrong person. And it scares me because guys sometimes can get the wrong impression and I don't know. And she's like, it's fine. Everything's fine. So I had mentioned it the one time and that was it. I would never call her those names. I'm not that kind of person at all. So that's what hurts me the most about this whole thing is that people like are making up stories about me. And that's hard. It's not fair. I never hurt anybody.
Why would people do that? Why would people make up stories about you?
I don't know. I don't know if people just were trying to put the pieces together themselves. I don't know. Anybody could try and do that, but I don't know.
Was anything missing from your room?
No.
Did you ever tell them the iPod was missing?
I think my iPod was missing, but then I ended up finding it in my car somewhere because I thought I had put it in my closet, in my sweatshirt pocket, but then I ended up finding it in my cars.
Did you ever call the detectives and ask how the investigation was going over the years?
No, because they had come and talk to me sometimes, like at my apartment, or they'd call me, and I've talked to them every time. I didn't have anything else I felt like to give you guys. I just, as much as I would love to be able to give you guys more, I just, like I said, I don't feel like I talked to her. I don't know who she was hanging out with. I don't know where she was Saturday. It makes no sense to me that she wasn't answering her phone Saturday.
So what do you think happened here?
There's so many theories that have gone through my brain that I don't know. I don't know if someone was keeping her Saturday or took her phone Saturday or if she lost her phone Saturday, because there's no reason she would never call her mom back ever. So I don't know.
What about work? Did she ever just not go to work?
No.
She was supposed to work?
She would always go to work or she would call work, and that's weird. So I don't know what could have possibly have been going on Saturday that she would have not had to answer.
Did she call in often? Like, she's just like, I don't feel like going today.
No.
You're calling.
No. She always went to work.
Jeez, let's get to it. Let's get to some shocking evidence or something that causes her to confess to this.
So did you ever go back and move into that apartment again, or is that it? You were done, you left?
I didn't go back.
And where'd you go from there?
Stayed at my parents. And then I felt okay enough they moved me into an apartment in Belva.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard. I have a hard time being alone. So
you lived in Belva for a while? Were you still working at Utelicare? Did you drive back and forth?
Yep.
Didn't you go to New Mexico or Arizona for a while?
Yep.
When was that?
Away. Oh my gosh. I don't remember what year that was. Was it like
She knows who.
7 and 8, I think, maybe?
She knows who. She went to lunch that weekend that this happens, how long they was at lunch, but she doesn't remember when she lived in another state.
7-ish, 8, 07, 08-ish, somewhere around there.
Okay, how long were you there?
Not very long. I thought I would like it. Hated it.
What'd you go there for?
I met someone, so he lived down there. He was up here working, and then I moved down there with him thinking life would be different, warm, and my dad and I, like I said, my dad and I are now close, but we used to not be, like, for a long time. Probably since I was younger. We just butted heads a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just need to get away from my dad because he was a lot. And so I moved and I hated it there. I realized I needed to be back at the farm. So
how long after this, what happened to Anita, did you move to New Mexico?
A couple of years, I think.
You think it was a couple of years later?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then you came back from there, and then what? You came back to Minot, or?
I came back. I was in Belva. Yeah.
So that weekend, you never came back into Minot at all?
No, I was out of the farm the whole time. I had no reason to come back to town.
Okay.
So
You never told your aunt you came back to Minot on Saturday to get clothes?
no, I did not come back to Minot.
So if she told us that, she would be a liar?
Well, I would assume she's confused because I never came back to Minot to get clothes. I packed the whole weekend. And Saturday I was gone all day. I went to Sykeston, and then I went to the bar, and then I went back to my parents' house. So I never had time to come back to Minot to get clothes.
And you didn't go watch a movie at house or house?
No, because I was with Alyssa at the bar.
And when you left the bar, separate way to her place, and you went to the farm. You guys separate?
Yep.
Okay.
Were you calling or texting somebody by the name throughout the days?
Yeah, like for a couple of months.
Pretty heavy?
Yeah, we talked a lot. Mm-hmm.
And who was he to you?
We were kind of seeing each other, but he lived in like Michigan, so we were just talking to each other, just someone to talk to. I like with me working, I didn't have a lot of people to talk to. You know, I was busy, and so it was easy to text people and talk to them, and I was just busy and trying to find my place in life, I guess.
You think this could have been an accident? The person that killed Anita? What do you think happened?
I don't know if it was someone she knew or was hanging out with at the time. Like I said, I talked about a lot. And there was a guy that she was hanging out with. I don't know what his last name was, but he would come to the apartment when I wasn't there. Well, I wasn't there very often. I don't know.
Did you? Go ahead.
What do you know about how the specifics of how she died? Would you know what her injuries are?
They just told me that she had been stabbed.
Okay. Did they tell you how many times she was stabbed? Did they say where?
No, they just said that she was stabbed to death, and it was multiple, but they didn't tell me how many times. They didn't tell me exactly where. That I feel like I didn't get told a whole lot. Just about this knife that they had found, and
do you remember what they told you about the knife?
That it was just like a switch blade knife. That's all they really told me.
Did they tell you where they found it? Okay.
No.
Well, and you realize the reason they don't tell a lot of details like that is because it's an investigation, and we never know how that stuff gets out. We don't want. That's how rumors get started.
Yeah.
Right.
There's plenty of those.
So, did they tell you if they thought it was a knife that like you guys already had in the apartment, like one from the kitchen or something, or?
No. We didn't have a lot of knives. The only knives we really had in the house was like steak knives and stuff like that. So.
What do you think should happen to the person that killed Anita?
I think they should rot for a long time.
You believe in second chances?
No. Not for stuff like this. This is, when you take someone else's life, you don't just take their lives. You take everybody that means that they meant anything to. You take their lives too. They took my life. I haven't been the same person since.
Well, and we know there's at least one person that knows what happened to Anita and knows everything that happened. And what do you think about a person that could just keep that a secret all these years and never say anything?
I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how you can live every day knowing something like that.
Didn't she say she doesn't cry? And since they've brought this up, she's done nothing but?
I think about her every day, So I don't know, whoever would know what happened, how they could even live with themselves or live with knowing if they knew who had did it at the same time. It's the same thing. How do you live every day like that?
Do you know?
Yeah, I do.
How do you know him?
We dated a few times, and then we quit dating for a while, and then we just dated again probably right before I met my husband.
If someone told us you were at a party and you said you killed Anita, would they be lying? Or would that
But they would definitely be lying. That would be a horrible thing for anybody to say.
And did you tell people you failed the polygraph on this test?
No. No. So I never failed a polygraph.
That's not true.
I didn't fail a polygraph. You guys, listen. This is what cracked my whole life. And I would never do anything to her. And I have cooperated with you guys to try and help do this. Like, I want the person found too. Because I want my life back. Like, I don't have to talk anymore. I do, because I want this taken care of and I want it solved. And I want people to know that it wasn't me. Because it wasn't me.
Nicole, do you remember a guy named?
Yeah, he was my boss.
Yeah. And he told us that you were at work when the police called and asked you to come to the apartment. You were
I wasn't at work.
You weren't at lunch.
No, I was. I was with at lunch.
He went to you and told you that you need to go to your apartment. The police need you there. And do you remember what you said to him?
I don't remember saying anything to him.
Because he remembers, because he was taken aback by it.
I don't
You told him no.
talking to
You
him.
said, no, I'm not going there. It's just my roommate. She's a crackhead.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? All these people are saying these horrible things. Okay, I'm going to be done talking because I don't have anything else to say.
Okay. I mean, all these people have no reason to say horrible things about you.
I don't know why they are. You guys, I was not there. I would have never done anything like this to her.
I think it was an accident.
No,
Absolutely an accident.
it was not.
Look, there's a chain of interrelated behavior. This is just one thing. There's DNA, there's your statements, there's other things here. And here's the bottom line. These detectives have been working on this for years now.
I know.
And it's pointing to one person. And you got to understand this. There's going to be mercy or there's going to be justice here for the person who did this.
There should be justice.
There should be mercy too, maybe, in some cases, like the detective said there, if this was an accident.
But it wasn't an accident. I didn't do anything.
Who told you about the screen on her window?
I don't remember who said anything about the screen.
So do you remember anything about the screen?
All I remember them saying is that they found a screen or the screen, something about the window screen. But like when I got there, everything was such a blur to me. If they would have said anything, I don't even remember. I don't remember a lot.
There's phone records, there's DNA,
I know, I gave mine.
there's animal hair.
Well, I have cats at the farm.
How would your cat hair get on her?
I don't know. Does anybody else she was hanging out with have a cat? I was at the farm on the weekends. Like, I was never in her room. Like, you guys, do I need to get a lawyer?
It's up to you.
I've never had to get a lawyer. This is ridiculous.
There's just a lot of things, Nicole, that over the years, your story has changed so many
But
times.
this has been 13 years ago.
I know, but
can't
even
remember
then,
13 years ago, I can't remember what
it
we had for
changed.
supper.
Even then, it changed.
Oh my God. I was
You
not
knew
in town when you got
Stuff about her window screen that nobody else knew.
No, I heard stuff about the window screen from other people.
You told your coworker that the window screen was
Donna?
cut, and why would you
Donna?
need to go into the screen if you had a
She
key?
wanted to be telecare.
You guys, I didn't say any of this stuff. There's so many stories.
All of these people are liars.
Okay. There are so many stories. I don't know anymore. Like, I feel so attacked. You guys, I want to get a
We're
lawyer.
not attacking.
I
We're not
want to
trying
get a lawyer.
attack you.
I don't
Okay,
want to talk anymore.
that's fine. Then we're done.
I haven't done anything.
I'll walk you back up front.
In March 2025, Nicole Rice went to trial in Grand Forks, North Dakota, Prosecutors argued the case hinged on Rice's shifting statements over time, alleged confessions to family and friends, and her apparent knowledge of crime details that were never publicly released. They claimed the killing followed a heated dispute between roommates. The defense countered that the investigation was deeply flawed, driven by public pressure rather than evidence. They emphasized the lack of physical proof, challenged the use of hearsay testimony, and pointed to other possible suspects who were never fully examined. After 7 days of testimony from more than 20 witnesses, the jury deliberated for roughly 5.5 hours over 2 days. On March 26, 2025, they returned a verdict of not guilty on the felony murder charge. The courtroom reaction was emotional. Rice and her supporters embraced in tears, while Anita Knutson's family voiced profound disappointment. Rice was released, bringing a nationally watched case to a close.
Well, there you have it. Not guilty. You don't see those very often on these kind of videos, but not a lot to react to. Just ho-hum, but I'll leave it up to you whether or not you think she's guilty. Are you jury number 13? Y'all have a good one.